Strategic silence of the Islamic nations. For decades, the Middle East has been embroiled in conflict. From wars to diplomatic standoffs, the region seems trapped in an endless cycle of violence and instability. But beneath the surface of these conflicts lies a persistent, unresolved issue, the Palestinian question. Without addressing this core problem, true peace in the Middle East will remain a distant dream. Yet, despite its significance, the Palestinian issue is often met with strategic silence, especially from nations that should be its most vocal advocates, the Islamic countries. Why? What forces are at play, and how does this silence perpetuate the suffering? The Palestinian issue is not just a regional dispute, it's a symbol of injustice and human rights violations on a global scale. Every day, Palestinians face systemic discrimination, displacement, and violence. Their land is encroached upon, their homes demolished, their voices silenced. And yet, as these atrocities continue, much of the Muslim world remains silent. This silence is not merely a failure of diplomacy, it's a betrayal of the very principles these nations claim to uphold. Countries that often speak of unity, brotherhood, and justice turn a blind eye when these values are tested on the international stage. They pursue their interests, whether economic, political, or strategic, at the expense of the Palestinian cause. But this silence comes at a cost. It emboldens those who violate international law, it undermines global solidarity, and it fractures the very foundation of peace. When Islamic nations remain silent, they send a message to the world that the suffering of the Palestinian people can be ignored, that peace is negotiable, and that justice is optional. However, the silence isn't just about inaction, it's about complicity. By choosing not to speak out, these nations are enabling the continued oppression of the Palestinian people. They may issue occasional statements or participate in symbolic gestures, but these actions are hollow without the political will to bring about real change. We must ask ourselves, what would happen if these nations broke their silence? If they united in a genuine effort to resolve the Palestinian issue, the impact could be transformative, not just for Palestinians, but for the entire Middle East. A region that has known so much suffering could finally move toward lasting peace. But this won't happen as long as the silence continues. The time has come for Islamic nations to reclaim their voice, to stand up for justice, and to play an active role in ending the Palestinian tragedy. Because without addressing this core issue, peace in the Middle East will remain a mirage, always on the horizon, but never within reach.